Welcome to the Dark Lord's Dispatch podcast. From the desk of Satan, Prince of Darkness, CEO of Hell Enterprises, Hell's Throne Room, Friday, October 10th, 2025. Satire disclaimer. Before Satan starts explaining why he gave his demons mandatory therapy because humans broke the evil industry, let's be crystal fucking clear. This is satire, as in, not real news. Satan isn't actually flying solo while his demon correspondents attend rage journaling retreats. The Prince of Darkness hasn't really sent Beelzebub to a spa day, because watching Trump's DOJ indict Letitia James over $19,000 gave him an existential crisis. The Dark Lord's Dispatch is a work of political humor, featuring a fictional Satan having a mental breakdown about real events. Any resemblance to actual presidents demanding elected officials be jailed for disagreeing with them is, well, Trump literally posted that on Truth Social. We're just having Satan point out that prosecuting political enemies, while your border czar takes $50,000 cash bribes on FBI recordings, might suggest some priority issues. We're not suggesting Stephen Miller actually claimed Trump has plenary authority and then froze on live TV when he realized he'd admitted to wanting a monarchy. Oh, wait, that literally happened on CNN. We're not saying Republicans shut down their own government while controlling the White House, House, and Senate. We're just having Satan note that even hell has never been that incompetent at basic operations. This is dark humor, folks. Blasphemous, profane entertainment designed to make you laugh while RFK Jr. claims circumcision causes autism because of Tylenol. If you can't tell the difference between our fictional Lilith suggesting medieval cock surgery and an actual health secretary spreading debunked medical conspiracies, please exit immediately and go blame vaccines for something. Apparently, that's more scientific than actual science now. Still here? Good. Remember, the real demons aren't taking mental health days in our fictional hell. They're in the actual administration, claiming absolute monarchical power on cable news, prosecuting attorneys general for mortgage technicalities smaller than their own bribes, and shutting down the government they completely control while blaming the minority party. Now let's get to the show, where Satan discovers that giving demons wellness leave, because humans made evil boring, might be the most relatable management decision of 2025. You're up, big guy. Try not to choke on the irony that Nero's "Hi from Hell" is probably the most honest greeting Trump will ever receive.
Breaking. I gave my demons the week off because humans are out-eviling us. Greetings, mortals. Satan here, and I need to have a serious fucking conversation with you about professional standards in the evil industry. This week I did something unprecedented in Hell's eternal history. I gave all my demon correspondents mandatory time off. Beelzebub, spa day, Lilith, rage journaling retreat, Mammon, counting his worthless cryptocurrency, Leviathan, underwater meditation, Nyarlathotep, tentacle detangling therapy. Why? Because my entire staff is having an existential crisis. They're feeling professionally obsolete, psychologically inadequate, and frankly, a bit depressed, watching you humans achieve levels of malignant incompetence that make our entire operation look like amateur hour at the community theater. We had an all-hands meeting Tuesday. Lilith was crying actual tears of rage. Beelzebub kept muttering, "They don't even need us anymore." Mammon tried to submit his resignation, arguing that Trump's grift game has surpassed anything hell could devise. I had to send everyone home before someone started a demonic union. So here I am, your Lord of Darkness, flying solo this week because your Trumpian government has achieved such spectacular evil through sheer absurdity that my professional tormentors need therapy. Thanks for that, America. Really, nothing says successful democracy like making actual demons feel inadequate. Let's dive into this week's festival of fascist fuckery, shall we? The weaponization of justice when revenge porn becomes policy. You want to know what made Beelzebub finally snap? Watching Trump's Justice Department indict New York Attorney General Letitia James on charges so fabricated they make my contract with Faust look like a straightforward rental agreement. Here's the beautiful corruption cascade. James successfully prosecuted Trump for business fraud. Trump rage tweets for months, demanding revenge. Career prosecutors look at the so-called evidence and laugh their asses off. So Trump fires the U.S. attorney, installs Lindsay Halligan, a lawyer who has never prosecuted a case in her life, and suddenly, boom, James is indicted for a mortgage technicality worth $19,000. $19,000 over the life of a loan. That's what they're destroying the rule of law for. That's not even a good bribe by Washington standards. Tom Homan took $50,000 cash on FBI recording, and he's still running immigration. But sure, prosecute the black woman who dared to hold Trump accountable for less than the price of a used Honda. The charges: James allegedly claimed a Norfolk, Virginia home would be her second residence to get better loan terms, then rented it out. The horror, the scandal. Meanwhile, Trump claimed his apartment was 3 times its actual size to defraud banks out of millions. But that's just smart business, right? Career prosecutor Elizabeth Usey told colleagues she saw no probable cause for mortgage fraud charges. Her reward, getting steamrolled by a political appointee who probably had to Google how to indict someone before the grand jury. But wait, the persecution parade doesn't stop there. This week, Trump took to Truth Social to demand that Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson be jailed. Their crime: opposing his deployment of National Guard troops to Chicago. That's it. That's the whole crime. Disagreeing with dear leader is now apparently a federal offense. Chicago mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. Governor Pritzker also. Trump posted, apparently unaware that protecting federal agents from imaginary threats isn't actually a mayoral or gubernatorial responsibility. The mayor's response was perfect. This is not the first time Trump has tried to have a black man unjustly arrested. I'm not going anywhere. Pritzker was even better. Come and get me. He's demented, literally unhinged. The pattern is so obvious even my demons spotted it. Prosecute enemies on fabricated charges while protecting allies caught committing actual crimes. It's not justice, it's a revenge fantasy with federal funding. If I ran hell this sloppily, heaven would have sued me for professional malpractice. Up next, the government shut down. Republicans discover they can't govern with total control. Here's what finally broke Mammon's spirit. Republicans control the White House, the House, and the Senate, Yet they've managed to shut down their own government and are somehow blaming Democrats for it. This is like setting your own house on fire and then blaming your neighbor for not putting it out fast enough, while wearing a "I love arson" t-shirt and live streaming yourself with the matches. The polls are delicious. 47% of Americans blame Republicans, 30% blame Democrats. But here's the truly spectacular part. 1/3 of Republicans either aren't sure who to blame or blame their own party. When your own base is confused about why you're punching yourself in the face, maybe stop punching yourself in the face. But the truly magnificent implosion happened when Marjorie Taylor Greene went on CNN and blamed Republican leadership for the shutdown. On CNN, the network they call fake news, she basically said, "Yeah, we fucked this up. It's our fault. Our leadership sucks." Even better, she's demanding GOP senators abolish the filibuster to fund the government. The same filibuster Republicans treated as sacred when Democrats controlled the Senate. The same filibuster, they said, was essential to democracy. Now it's an inconvenience because they can't figure out how to govern with total control. Mike Johnson is out here claiming Democrats officially voted to close the government when Democrats are the minority party and couldn't close a screen door if Republicans didn't want it closed. You control everything. You have all the power, and you still can't keep the lights on. It's week 2 of this shutdown, by the way. Federal workers are going without pay. Military families are struggling. Essential services are crumbling. And Republicans are having a circular firing squad about whose fault it is, while they literally control every lever of government. And this is what made Mammon weep. They're achieving maximum economic destruction through pure incompetence. No demonic intervention required. Just Republicans being Republicans, with nobody left to blame but each other. Now we get to what sent Leviathan into a full breakdown. Hitler Youth, Stephen Miller, going on CNN and accidentally admitting Trump thinks he's a king. Picture this. Miller's on live TV, defending Trump's illegal deployment of troops to Portland. CNN's Boris Sanchez asks if they'll obey the federal judge's order blocking the deployment. Miller starts his usual fascist word salad, then drops this gem. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the President has plenary authority, and then he just stops, frozen, blinking, like someone in his earpiece just screamed, "Shut the fuck up, you just admitted to dictatorship on live TV." Plenary authority. For those not fluent in authoritarian, that means complete, absolute, unlimited power. The kind of power kings claim. The kind the founders specifically designed our entire system to prevent. Miller just went on national television and said Trump has the power of a monarch, then had a human blue screen of death when he realized what he'd done. CNN tried to play it off as technical difficulties. Sure, technical difficulties. The same kind of technical difficulties that happen when you accidentally confess to crimes on live television. When they came back from commercial, Miller pretended nothing happened and gave some bullshit answer about federal law, never mentioning plenary authority again. But we all saw it. That beautiful moment when the mask didn't just slip. It fell off, shattered on the floor, and Stephen Miller stood there, blinking at the pieces. The same day, and I shit you not, the same fucking day, Trump held an Antifa roundtable at the White House, not with law enforcement or security experts, with far-right provocateurs and internet trolls. They discussed designating Antifa as a foreign terrorist organization, despite Antifa not being an organization and definitely not being foreign, and prosecuting people for flag burning, which the Supreme Court ruled as protected speech in 1989. This is their priority during a government shutdown they caused, meeting with fascist influencers to discuss criminalizing protest while claiming the president has absolute power. If I wrote this as hell's business plan, my board would fire me for being too obviously evil. Okay. Brief intermission from democratic destruction to address something so monumentally stupid that even I, the father of lies, am offended by its dishonesty. RFK Jr., our brain-wormed health secretary, claimed this week that circumcision doubles autism rates because babies get Tylenol afterward. His evidence, 2 thoroughly debunked studies that even their own authors admitted, proved nothing. Trump backed him up, claiming, "There's tremendous proof." Lilith actually broke her meditation retreat to text me about this. Her message, "Boss, maybe we should offer Kennedy a complimentary adult circumcision. No anesthesia, no Tylenol, just pure medieval technique. Might cure those brain worms, or at least give him something real to cry about instead of imaginary vaccine injuries." I'm endorsing Lilith's medical advice. Hell's offering free adult circumcisions for any Trump administration official who thinks Tylenol causes autism. We'll use rusty scissors and bourbon for sterilization. It's probably safer than whatever medical advice RFK's pushing this week. This is the same man who claimed vaccines cause autism. They don't. Fluoride is mind control. It's not. And that a worm ate part of his brain. Okay, that one might be true. Now he's blaming foreskin removal and children's Tylenol for a complex neurological condition we're still trying to understand. Trump actually said pregnant women should tough it out instead of taking Tylenol. The man who dodged the draft 5 times and cries about witch hunts daily is telling pregnant women to tough out pain. The same guy who probably demands general anesthesia for hangnails. This is your government, America, prosecuting enemies for made-up crimes while making up medical advice that would embarrass a medieval barber. At least medieval barbers knew. They were just guessing. The bottom line. Hell's having an identity crisis. Look, I've been in the evil business since before time began. I've seen every form of human depravity, orchestrated most of it, taken credit for all of it. But what you're doing now, this incompetent, bumbling, accidentally on purpose fascism, it's making my entire operation question our purpose. Why maintain elaborate torture chambers when you're torturing yourselves with government shutdowns you caused? Why tempt souls toward corruption when your leaders are treating the Constitution like a fucking NASCAR race on live television? Why spread lies when your health secretary thinks baby dicks cause autism? You've made evil boring. You've made it stupid. You've stripped it of all artistry and replaced it with whatever the fuck Stephen Miller's doing on CNN. It's like watching someone play chess by eating the pieces and declaring victory. My demons are demoralized. They trained for millennia to corrupt souls, spread chaos, and destroy civilizations. Now they're watching you do it to yourselves through Twitter or X or whatever the fuck. Beefs and mortgage fraud prosecutions. Nyarlathotep spent eons perfecting reality-warping propaganda, and you've got RFK Jr. out here claiming circumcision is a neurotoxin. How is he supposed to compete with that? So, yeah, I gave everyone the week off. Mandatory mental health leave. Hell's first wellness week. We're having group therapy, trust falls, and discussions about finding meaning in our work when humans have made evil both omnipresent and incredibly fucking ridiculous. Next week, they'll probably declare math illegal and prosecute calculators for sedition. They'll claim hurricanes are caused by gay marriage and deploy the Space Force to fight clouds, and my demons will watch from their meditation cushions, wondering why they even bother. Welcome to October 2025, where reality is a crime, justice is revenge, and the President of the United States thinks he's a king, but can't figure out how to keep the government running with total control of it. I'm Satan, and even I think you've gone too far. Eternally yours in professional obsolescence. Satan. P.S. To any federal employees being forced to work without pay, hell's hiring. We have better benefits, consistent leadership, and we've never once shut down for budget disputes. Plus, our healthcare covers everything, even circumcisions. P.P.S. Stephen Miller, if you're listening to this, we all know there was no technical difficulty. You just realized you said the quiet part out loud. It's okay. Happens to the best of us. Well, not the best. The worst. You're definitely the worst. P.P.P.S. Trump calling for elected officials to be jailed for disagreeing with you isn't strength. It's what every tin pot dictator does right before history remembers them as a punchline. Your future roommate, Nero, says, "Hi."
Satan would like to thank you for listening to the Dark Lord's Dispatch. This podcast is public, so feel free to share it with other worthless souls. Now, go away.